Hi, welcome to A Couple of Thought Podcast. We are your hosts, Chaya and
Elimelech
Evers. Oh God, are we Evers or Evers?
Or Evers.
Depends where we live. Together, we will be discussing our passions for food, politics,
Judaism and marriage.
Yeah, exciting. So join us for our podcast and you will be blown away by our
Couple of thoughts.
מודה אני כל בוקר על האור, על עצם היותי, מודה אני עליכם שנחת לשולחני, שלא אהיה רעב, שלא אדע כאב.
It's freaking 12:15, 12 o'clock and we're starting now. It's a bit late, isn't it?
Okay, is that how you want to start our podcast? All right. Hi, everyone. So Melech is new to podcasting. I'm a novice at this.
So I'm just going to be listening.
He's used to always listening. So welcome to A Couple of Thoughts. Me and Melech decided, we've been talking about this for months, that we have to sit down and start a podcast because we're just really funny people.
I've finally given into the begging.
The begging? Come on, you wanted to do this too.
No, it's true. It's true.
And so we're sitting here today and we're first going to share a little bit about ourselves. And you know what, Melech? You're going to go first. Go.
All right. I'm Elimelech. Most people call me now as Eli. Makes it easier for people to remember, especially in the workforce. I'm 36 years old.
Wow.
Twice high. And I work in the field of real estate in Amsterdam. I did some real estate back in New York when I lived in New York.
That wasn't so much fun. Now it's more fun.
That's more fun now. We moved back to the Netherlands in 2012. We got married in 2008. I lived in a lot of places around the world. At 15, I moved to Manchester. Was there for 3 years in Yeshiva. Talmudic High School. And then was a year in Yerushalayim, Israel, Jerusalem, a year in New York, a year in London, a year in New Jersey, Manalapan, a year in Florida, Surfside, Bell Harbor.
Ooh, that's sad.
Yeah, sad times. And then I moved to New York and I married my neighbor. And then in 2008.
Sounds so exciting.
Yeah, very. And then I moved to Holland and first did some other stuff. Maybe we'll get into that another time.
Oh yeah, that's a fun story for another podcast.
Yeah, it's a juicy story for another podcast. Working for an Israeli company. And then, I started working in real estate, property management and renovations. And now I'm mostly doing real estate, property management and real estate agent. And that's me. I guess I pass the mic to you.
Okay, so everybody, hello. I'm Chaya Halberstam-Evers. I am wife to Elimelech Evers and mother to our 4 children. We forget about them. We get very busy, but we have 4 kids. They're sleeping upstairs, thank God. So, now
Which
it's
makes
just
us Chemdra.
Yeah, Chemdra, because it's Chaya Elimelech, Mendel, David, Rivka, and Adina. And we are the Chemdra crew, and we're awesome. And I'm from New York originally, and as Melech said so clearly, I married my neighbor. But that's actually a really interesting story how we met, which we'll share as the podcast progresses. So I live in Amsterdam now for almost 9.5 years. I know. I came for 1 on the condition that if it's so terrible, we will go back. But I guess it's not that terrible because we're still here. And I'm a teacher at the Cheder School in Amsterdam, 1st grade. Love it. Most of the time. Today's my first day of vacation, so I'm actually really happy to get a break and re-energize those batteries because teachers get really tired after a whole year of teaching. Especially this year was quite the interesting year post and mid-pandemic. So we're just going to recharge that part of my brain. And as an outlet, we are starting this podcast, and it's going to be interesting and fun, and you do want to listen. So we are winging it. We are not editing it. Maybe a little bit, but not too heavy because we want it to be raw and real. And yeah,
we
that's
want it to be us.
To us. It's a couple of our thoughts.
Yes.
Mainly mine, but sorry. So where do we begin, Mel? Because
Well, should we quickly go through those 4 topics that we chose? But maybe there'll be more topics later.
Right.
But, basically, food. We love food. We love good food.
Yeah. We love cooking.
We love cooking. Well, here in Amsterdam, there's very little places to go out. There used to be a very good restaurant. A shout out to H. Baron.
Yeah, hey Daniel.
who's not open anymore as a restaurant, but just as catering. And besides that, there's not so many good restaurants to go out.
There's
yet.
New Pizza & Co. Shout out to them. They just redid their restaurant, and we are enjoying it.
Yeah. And so we are most of the time eating at home, and even when we have stuff to celebrate, a lot of times we make very good food at home, and we enjoy cooking, both of us.
But I'm the better cook. This is an argument that we're going to have a lot, because Melech has a very different style of cooking than I do, and we're always trying to prove that we're a better cook. But
if we ask the children, then I most of the time win.
Yeah, but that's because they like you more than they like me.
Because you're with them more.
Okay, but seriously, they always say in the end, but Ma, really, your food is better. But they don't say
feel
no bad
bad
for you
for
because they feel bad for you. But anyways, the fact is, we love food. We love eating it. And when we go to New York or to Israel, all we do is eat.
France.
Or to Miami.
Yeah.
All we do is eat. And it makes us so happy. And you know what? We celebrate the sizes that we receive after eating all that food. And we don't cry too much because you only live once. You gotta enjoy it.
YOLO.
Yeah, exactly. So that was our first topic. Food. And I guess every time we'll discuss another
hot topic, whatever is hot at that moment.
No, like a new recipe that we're busy with or something that we're obsessing over. Like right now we have sweet potato grilling in the oven that actually Melech put together. But shout out to my sister Divi, who got us into these like little like crouton like sweet potatoes that you throw in everything. Sweet potato bits, yeah. And they are awesome because they go on everything. Salad.
Prepping is everything for the salads for the coming week.
Exactly. For the salads that Melech eats, because Melech is the local rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yep. Your little...
Yeah, so that's the food part of it. And actually one of the things I want to do maybe in a future podcast is to explain how we do an 1 hour Shabbos, preparing meals for Shabbos in 1 hour and basically using the kitchen, the oven over the stove. Okay. But we'll do that one time.
Yeah, and I think Melech is the best at organizing the kitchen because when I cook
You're
in an
the best
hour...
at making the mess. And good food.
The food tastes awesome, but the mess is...
palpitating.
Yeah, really. Oh gosh, this is funny. Okay. Yeah. All right, so we're going to talk about food and we're going to talk about politics because before I was even like aware of anything of the great big world, I was obsessed since I'm like 16 in world politics, news, what's going on. And then for like good 10 years, I was really out of it because I was busy having babies and doing other things. And let's just say in the last 3 years, we got really into it. We think a lot of interesting things are happening in the world. We have a lot of opinions about all the things that are happening in this world. Donald Trump, you know?
Yeah.
Do we like him? Do we hate him? Do we care about him? Is he essential? Does he make a difference to our life? Joe Biden. Well, I'm American, so it's a lot
Jim
of... Joe, whatever. I forget, you know? Kamala Harris. What else? Oh, and of course, my idol, Megyn Kelly. Mm-hmm. She's like my voice of reason in this world of chaos because she talks about facts and
whenever Chaya says, I heard something, we decide she never has to say that it's Megyn Kelly.
But she brings on such smart people who
say such smart things. Because we already know if Chaya heard something, then it's probably from Megyn Kelly.
Exactly.
Podcast.
And Melech...
Well, my interest for politics goes way back, actually. I had a spreekbeurt, which is in Holland. You take a topic in school and you explain it to the class. And I did a spreekbeurt on politics back then. And I explained what ministers are and prime ministers.
Like the government.
The government, how it works. So I was always... We used to drive when I grew up. We grew up in Amersfoort and we went to school in Amsterdam. And every morning and evening we were in a car anywhere between half an hour to an hour. And radio was always on, so I used to listen to the radio and all the hot topics going on
Yeah.
the radio and the Dutch politics mostly. And well, America is very hot in the Dutch news also, so I picked up a lot on that also.
Yeah, I started listening to Dutch radio actually on my way to school, and they were talking about vaccines, and then they were talking about Trump, and they were talking about riots and all kinds of things. It was like interesting. They were talking about it
Yeah,
in
the Dutch news is very much also focused on the U.S. Whenever there were U.S. elections, they used to make like an hour every day just talking about those politics. So I was very much into politics, and also always when I lived in Israel, I listened to the radio over there, listening to the politics there. And when I was in the U.S., I listened there to WABC.
Oh yeah, oh my God! Remember we used to listen to
77?
Sean Hannity?
No.
I can't even hear his
No.
voice. It's really
Or
annoying.
the other screaming guy from 12 to 2. That's
Oh,
the guy
Mark
who passed
Lane.
away. No, that's back in the evening.
Oh,
The guy who passed
Rush
away.
Limbaugh.
Yeah, he was a good
Some
guy.
people might like cancel us for saying his name even. But
Yeah,
never
not to
mind.
cancel. Good luck canceling.
We don't really care.
No.
We're unstoppable force.
Yeah, we're uncancelable.
Exactly, because like we just exist without anything. Yeah.
We don't need those woke people to listen.
Oh, did we say we're anti-woke?
I
We're
didn't
not
say
sure.
that.
We don't have an opinion about it. Maybe.
Well,
we
maybe
don't
we'll get
know.
back to it.
We'll get back. We'll circle back to it, as
Yeah.
what's her name says always.
Yeah, I don't
Jen
know her name.
Psaki. She's the
We'll
White
circle
House
back on that.
press secretary. We're so good. We really know stuff. Okay, so I actually know a lot about Dutch government. I find it very interesting.
Shout
the way,
out to Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin Pollack. He is a local mayor now of Amsterdam.
Oostzaan or something. Somewhere in the north of Amsterdam.
Yeah,
He
in
became a
Amsterdam
mayor
North.
recently.
The burgemeester, and he was the one who taught me in Tikvatenu how the Dutch government system works, which is similar to the system in Israel, which I actually find way more interesting than America, because in America you just have Republicans
Winner takes all.
and Democrats, and it's so not diverse. So I actually like the Dutch system, so shout out to you, Marvin. Thanks for teaching me. Anyways, so that's politics. We have a lot of opinions. We're not like on any team. We're just on team of reason, facts, and information. And reason.
Reasonable.
Reason.
Yeah.
High five. Okay. So that's politics. And then we like to talk about food politics.
Marriage and Judaism.
Oh, marriage and Judaism. Which one should we go first?
Judaism. We'll keep marriage for the last.
Okay, fine.
You go for
Judaism.
Judaism while I go check on the sweet potato bits.
Potatoes. Oh, I'm going to wait for you, actually. I'm going to put this on pause. How are the sweet potatoes doing?
I think all right.
Oh, they smell so good. I'm hungry, actually, but it's a bit late to eat. Take your hand off your mouth, because no one's going to hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Judaism. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think we should go one layer first before Judaism. It's religion. Whereas a lot of times in our modern world, there is a lot of animosity against religious people, because all the fanatics are usually in the news, and the normal voice of reason
Yeah.
are not heard, and it's only the extremists you hear. And like there's a lot of negativity within the news and in blogs and this and that of people with a religion, whereas for me, religion, and then obviously Judaism, is a very stable factor, which actually gives a lot of good content in my life and a lot of
Direction also.
direction, and I am very happy that I have that fulfillment, as Viktor Frankl says in his book, that is actually what we need in our life, is fulfillment.
You should buy his book.
I have his book, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I have it in PDF.
Okay, maybe we shouldn't advertise you pirating a book
Yeah.
online. But actually, I was thinking, Dennis Prager said something very interesting.
Where did he say it?
On Megyn Kelly.
Yeah.
He was saying that the opposite of fanaticism, of religion, is assimilation. And to a certain extent, assimilation, secularism,
Yeah.
Secularism is also a religion. And if you see, people who are vegans, religion means a certain order that you follow, guidelines for your life.
Yeah.
So if you're Jewish and you follow Jewish religion, you follow the Torah and the mitzvot. If you're Muslim and you are a religious Muslim, you follow the Quran and the rules of Islam. And if you are, let's say, a vegan, you follow the rules of veganism, and all that entails. And I feel like right now, the whole world is actually demanding order to their lives, because you have all this like extreme edicts, like
They're looking
people
for
looking
order.
out for people, like, oh, you did this and you did that.
Now
You're
you're
not
canceled.
following social norms. You're not following what society is telling us about gender roles. All these things is basically people asking for guidelines for their life and rules for their life. And nowadays, every second that you talk, you're breaking a rule. And it's kind of like, like we say, there's like in certain religious circles, the modesty police, looking out for anyone who's not following the laws of modesty. So now we have the racist police or the morality police. I mean, you can't say that a woman is beautiful. A man cannot say that a woman is beautiful because that's like considered like
Only to your own wife.
even so, like you're like, how do you know what beauty is, right? So
They got all crazy.
no,
But I think
I don't know but I'm saying it's also a certain kind of religion.
I think the bottom line is in many of these things is that as soon as extremists take over, and that's within Judaism, that's within religion, that's within Black Lives Matter, or that's in any other
You're really saying all the
field.
words that could be triggering to many people.
I do not care.
Okay.
Let them be triggered. That's
Yeah.
a choice.
Yeah.
That it's the extremists that ruin it for the rest. Meaning to say, you have most of the time the voice of reason is pushed to the background because the people with extreme voices are listened to, because those will
Right, but
sell.
like regular, just normal people. I mean,
Exactly.
everyone else. Sorry, I don't want to say normal or not normal.
Yeah.
That because I don't think people with
Slippery slope.
extreme opinions are crazy. Just I think it's a little bit misled people. Let's say it like
No,
that.
they're looking for fulfillment in their life, and they feel by being the extreme that way. But I'm not extreme in Judaism. I'm not extreme in dieting. I'm not an extreme person. I like the middle way. But also people that are extreme in some things, even whether that's religion or even rigidness, it's hard for me to like relate because I prefer having like, let's be in the middle ground. It's okay. I understand that you want it that way, but like also in my work, I try to, when people are, let's say neighbors are fighting, this has too much noise, that one, relax. Okay, they're allowed to live. You're allowed to demand that they're not making noises at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So it's always the middle path, which I think is the most important, and that's also in religion. Like if you talk about chesed and gvura, that you need,
which is kindness and mightiness, gvura,
or like powerful, and then you have tiferet, which is the middle path. So, but you need both. You need the love, and you need the power or whatever. And also with children, with education, which could actually be another
also
topic.
part of marriage / parenting.
Education. That is something you need the middle line. Not only love, not only rigidness and strength, but you need the middle line.
Splendor, peace, harmony.
Tough love.
Harmony. But
That's
I
what
think also I really find, I see here in Amsterdam we have such a diverse Jewish community. So I know people from all different spectrums of religion, and something I find interesting is I find that from all spectrums everyone is very
judgmental.
Not judgmental, just like has assumptions that the others think about them. And sometimes I do see it, that there are, let's say, people who I'm friends with that are secular that have this opinion. Oh, not you, but other religious people. They're very X, Y, and Z. And it's totally not true. And opinions are being based on like watching Unorthodox on Netflix. And really
and it's also, I think, a lot of times because people are scared. Like people are scared of the dark.
Or scared of dogs.
Because it's the unknown. Like, they've never really met a religious person. They meet you, and they're like, oh, you're nice. Like, okay, but not you, but the other religious people. It's not as if they met the other religious people. Or maybe they one time had a bad experience with a religious person. And they're like, oh, probably all religious people are there, because that's, like, the mindset they already have.
Right. I mean, I play on a sports team for moms, and we have different groups. We have the Cheder group, like a religious group, and we have other groups with Israeli moms. And I think a few times, like, some of the women, like, made some comments about us, like while we were playing, like oh yo yo or something like that, as if like all we do all day is cook cholent and eat gefilte fish. And it was like, in a way, for me, a little bit like, what? Like we're just people, we're moms, we all have the same language. I'm not angry at those women and whatever, that was their judgment, and it's that's
Ignorance.
their. No, I just find it's like a little bit naive. But then, like as we've played in different tournaments, like we got to know many of the women and speak with them, and a lot of barriers get broken because of that. And then they just realize that we're just the same. We're all people. We all have hearts. We all have feelings. We're all moms. We all speak the same language. We all want our kids to be proud of who they are. We want to be successful. We want peace and harmony. And
then when you bring it down again, if they would be extremists and not take the time and effort to speak to you, they would be stuck in their own ways. Say, I don't need to talk to you. I'm not even playing against you because you're extreme religious and orthodox and we're nothing. And then you never get to the place where you can talk to each other.
Ooh, that's a sweet potato bits. Okay, so the sweet potatoes are ready. But so that's basically, I think me and you, we kind of agree. We don't get too crazy. We like to have fun when we practice our Judaism.
Yeah.
If we have questions or we don't know, we ask our rabbi. Shout out to
Rabbi Simcha Stanton, the rabbi of
and
our
also
community.
Rabbi Wolf,
yeah.
that we also ask him most of questions. But in general, we don't get too stressed out. We do our best, and it's all really we're all trying to head in the same direction to build and forge a strong connection with the creator of the world who gives us life every single day.
Gives us a good life.
Yeah, good life, and we're thankful for it. So whichever way we're going to get to that place, we try our best, and sometimes we are not perfect because we're not made of stone, we're humans.
We're not angels.
We're not robots. Or robots either. So we try again, or we ask.
That's also not expected from us.
Right.
We're expected to be the best that we could be.
Yeah. And if we don't understand, sometimes we study, we learn, we research, we ask questions. Sometimes we get the answers, sometimes we don't. But we don't not do something if we don't always understand it.
Just because we have a question about it.
Right. I just told someone this week, we don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. It's a good one.
Teaching.
Yeah. I feel like I've said it so many times, so it doesn't sound so cool anymore. But that's basically how we do Judaism. No pressure, just joy. And
we celebrate Judaism.
Commitment also. We're committed to this, and that's why we do it, and we're not forced. That's what someone says, like, what happens if you do X, Y, and Z? Someone asked me actually this week, what happens if just one time you break Shabbat?
But Rivka was actually asking that today, our daughter. She was asking, what would happen if you would eat meat? Because now it's 9 days. So that's like a mourning
9 days
period.
of mourning, yeah.
And we don't eat meat as part of the mourning period. And she asked, what would happen if we do eat meat? And I answered her, I said, what would happen if we eat a piece of pig? She's like, yeah, then you are doing an Avirah, which is like a
transgression.
Transgression. Yeah. I'm like, but we're not going to be smited or punished right away, but it's something we don't want to because it breaks our connection with Hashem.
I love that because, so I also answered to this woman, I said, no big sword is going to smite us, or no rock is going to fall from heaven and kill us, or no fire is going to engulf us in a flame, or if we turn on the light on Shabbat or do something. It's more that everything that we do, sorry, that reminds me of Friends. Never mind. That we do is a bond with us and Hashem, and it's like ropes. Every connection is another rope, and when you tie it all together, it becomes this really thick connection. And we don't want to do things that disconnect us from our Creator.
Who can break one of the ropes?
Exactly, and I think the biggest punishment you could say of transgression is that you don't feel sorry and you don't feel anything, because the more you distance yourself from God, the more disconnected you feel. So if you don't feel anything, that's really sad. That's really harsh. So
I think you could look at it like a father and a child, or like a parent and a child, which the fact that you could be, I don't remember, one of the kids was talking about this week about the teachers, and they were saying that you could talk nice to the teacher, you could be rude, or not say anything. So I said, even though I prefer you not being rude to the teacher, but at least when you're rude, you're talking, you're still in conversation. And if you don't say anything, then it's much harder, you're keeping it inside. So obviously it's the best to be nice and respectful. But at least you should speak out your mind, and then you can always have a discussion of what's right and what's wrong.
Okay. And that was in connection to
what we were saying before, but I don't remember what it was.
It's okay. I also lost my train of thought. I got distracted because I was telling you to amplify your voice.
Yes, I think my voice is just good for podcasting.
I know, you have a perfect voice. You really do. You're perfect.
Just the way I am.
Just as I said that, we're entering our fourth topic, which is marriage. So, how are we doing, Mel?
So far, so good. 12 years almost.
Oh.
No?
I always think we're married for 10 years. I tell everyone we're married for 10 years, but we're married for 12.
Yeah, between 10 and 20, somewhere between there.
Okay. So, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing marriage.
What are you doing?
We're doing the marriage thing, you know,
okay.
all the ups and all the downs and all the twists and all the turns. Most of the time we get along. We like each other a lot.
Yeah. I think from all the topics, this is for me the hardest to talk about, not because of the good or the bad marriage, just because it's very personal. And like you always touch upon like things that you're not necessarily just putting on like a Facebook post,
right?
But we'll try it out, see how it goes.
Well, I don't have a problem sharing anything. I'm an open book. Melech is more conservative, I guess, in that manner. Like, you know, I'm not gonna put on Facebook, oh my god, I love my husband, he's the best. Like, I know I could just tell him. I guess that's where that's what you mean. Like, you don't feel like,
no, like it's very personal. Like, if let's say you are in a fight with your wife or a discussion, whatever, more a discussion than a fight, and say, yeah, so I'm not gonna, the person is gonna go to the office the next day and say, oh yeah, last night I had a discussion with my wife about A, B, and C. Maybe in the future I will be able to talk about it, but when it's very fresh.
And like also like you don't want to walk down the street and someone will be like, oh yeah, how's that fight doing with your wife? Like, well, I think like Insta bloggers have that all the time because they're like filming their life, and then they'll be like, my kid hurt his foot, and then you like walk down the street and you'll be like, how's your kid's foot? And then they're like, oh, okay, and they get all weird. Happened to me once, like really. Then I realized, like, if I ever see any of those people, like, just don't say anything to them. Because, like, you think you know them because you see them on social media. But I think... Oh, should I tell everybody how I found the gas leak? Because that's, like, personal. I'm joking. We'll talk about that maybe another time. But basically, guys, I was right.
Told you so.
No,
but I was just telling Chaya before we started recording that if ever anybody would ask me, you know, after 50, 60 years being married, what's like your advice for a good marriage, I would say be hard on yourself and easy on your spouse. And that way...
I'm blushing.
Because that way, you know, let's say dishes are not done. So did you do the dishes? No, also not. So why are you being difficult on your spouse, saying, hey, why didn't you do the dishes? You also didn't do the dishes. So, or go do the dishes or just let it go. Or if dishes are not done exactly the way you want it, like be easy on the situation when it's concerning your spouse. And if it's to yourself, be hard on yourself. I think that's a very nice one. Another one I really like, spoil your wife, not your kids.
Oh, but I like it too. Well, I say it like this. I think that we don't have a very conservative old style marriage. First of all, guys, you know, people say, be hard on yourself, not on your partner. Like, Melech actually really practices that. So I'm not so nice. He's way nicer. So,
that's true.
But I love more. But really, he does practice that. He's really awesome in that sense. But is that too personal?
No, it's okay. No, I
do think like we have a very, I guess, modern way of doing things, because compared to, let's say, how our parents did it or do it still. No offense to you guys. I think it's because, like, for example, spoil your wife, spoil your husband. Like we spoil each other, right? We're kind to each other. We help out. The home is both of our homes. We both cook. We both clean. Well, I sometimes fold the laundry. You put it away. I put it away. Well, I put it away because I don't like how you put it away. But you put away the linen because you know how that closet works. Yeah. So like we kind of like, the home is both of our places. We both know how to take care of the home. I think sometimes Melech is better than me, but in general, like, we don't really look at like role keeping, like, oh, the woman is in charge of the home and the man is in charge of the bread. Well, you guys, basically you take care of most of the bread because I work, but yeah, I work, but I don't work as many hours as Melech does, unfortunately, right now. But one day, maybe this podcast will make us so much money.
Oh my God, yeah.
Then I could finally say we're even in that sense.
Yeah, but we're even anyways, because the blessings that come towards your income are not, you know, could be, you never know where the blessing is coming from.
I find that so beautiful. You always tell me that because I teach for 2 hours every day.
Yeah.
And I always say, I bring in like so little. And you always say, but how do you know that the blessings from my business doesn't come from your work?
Exactly.
Which is
We
holy
don't
work,
know.
working with Jewish children.
And
so
I don't just say it, I really believe it.
I also do. And I also believe that there's a bucket up there and
Endless.
it needs to get, for sure we want it to be endless. But I'm saying is whatever Hashem decides that you should be sustained with in the coming year, that's how your sustenance is going to come. Whether it's from your business, whether it's from my work, or from like literally like a good deal that comes out of nowhere, which has happened quite a few times. And we're like, oh, plus present from Hashem. So whatever Hashem wants you to make. And if that means you lost money between a business deal with people that you work with or whatever, doesn't really matter. The money will find its way back to you if it's what you're meant to get.
Yeah.
Like,
and Hashem is God, by the way.
Right, Hashem, God, interchangeably. We use Hebrew, English transliteration. Yiddish. Nederlands, Dutch too. Yeah. So really, Hashem is our friend in this house, in this marriage. We keep him as our third partner. And sometimes, I
think two things I want to say. It's being easy in general. Like, we're both not very difficult people. Like, we are easy to forgive. And, like, we don't keep grudges for very long.
That's hard. That's annoying, though.
What? Not
Sometimes I want to stay angry. It just doesn't work. After a few minutes, I get it from my mom. She's, like, also like this.
I don't know who I get it from, but I just don't stay...
You get it from me. I rubbed off on you.
Okay, wow, thanks. That, and the second thing I wanted to say, I forgot. But, I think we'll talk about it more when we talk about marriage in a longer podcast, is that... you have the difference between a love marriage and a commitment marriage. I think you were touching upon that before. Yeah. That you love doesn't matter. Did you get me flowers? Did you not get me flowers? You didn't get me flowers, so then I'm not making food. Like,
right.
Everything.
It's not.
You could be making food. I could be making food. I could be doing laundry. You could be doing laundry. It's not like so commitment based. Like, you getting the kids from school. I can get it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's like not so much committed based. It's more love based, and then it doesn't matter so much. Did you bring me flowers or not? Anyways, we love each other. That's number one. And then afterwards, things need to be done in the house. So we see whoever picks up the...
And I think also like we always use the example, it's also like a relationship that we have with God. Is it commitment based? Meaning like, God, I do this for you and you need to do this for me in exchange. And then if you don't get what you want, okay, God, I'm done with this commitment. Find another constituent, you know? Mm-hmm. Or is it a love based relationship where you say, Hashem, I always want to be connected to you. I don't want to do anything that will break my connection with you. The same in marriage. My husband, I love you so much. Even if you didn't take out the garbage tonight, like, I'm not going to like blow a fuse about it.
I don't even think you know where the garbage is, even if you want to take it out.
By the way, me and my sister have the same thing. We always keep stuffing the garbage, waiting for our husbands to take it out. Not because like I can't take out the garbage. I just hate garbage. It's really funny because I saw her doing the same thing. I'm like, do you also have this thing where you keep forcing it, waiting for your husband to take it out? She's like, yes, I do the same thing. So it's we just don't like garbage.
I can teach you.
Yeah, it's okay. I do a lot of other things, but I think it's just that we don't want to break our connection with each other. So we kind of have this mutual respect where we just want to we want to always like lean on each other instead of separate from each other.
Yeah, it's like a team. It's a teamwork. So you do it together, and even also with the kids, we really like the kids to help. They can't always help and do whatever they want to.
They want to though.
They made pancakes this morning, which flop.
But thank God our niece Mushki is here and she cleaned it up, so I didn't see the mess. It was basically pancake batter everywhere.
So it's a team.
Yeah. And we roll with the punches, right?
Yeah.
Not too much punches though.
No, I can't even remember last time. That's so long ago.
Oh gosh. All right. Anyway, so that's our first podcast introducing ourselves to you.
Our life in a nutshell.
Our life in a nutshell.
Actually, a couple of thoughts.
Our couple of thoughts, exactly.
Should we finish off with a joke?
Oh yeah. Melech is dipping his toes into the comedy world. Open mic, and he did a fabulous job a few weeks ago. Maybe we'll share a clip next time.
I'm not sure if I'm allowed to share the clip.
An audio clip?
Maybe. I'll ask.
Okay, we'll ask. An audio clip, and it was actually really funny.
We'll illegally post.
And in the lineup of famous comedians that night, you were number 4, I think.
3. I was
the
3.
third. And you got the most laughs that night, more than the others. So you did a good job, and I was really proud of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, end us off with a joke, Mel.
All right. There's this couple. They're going to marriage therapy, and
I'm already laughing because I think I know the
And
joke.
the husband and the wife, they discuss everything, and the wife tells the therapist that a lot of times she does a lot of things, and the husband like doesn't notice her or says thank you to her, etc. So she has a very hard time with that. So when they have therapy by themselves, they first sit together and then by herself, the husband gets advice from the therapist, says, listen, you should maybe tell your wife more often thank you, and when she cooks the food or when she puts the kids to bed, say thank you. So the husband says, great idea. So anyways, he comes home that night and he tells the wife, I spoke to a therapist and I'm sorry, I will be more grateful and thankful for the things you do. So I took a few notes. I wrote a few notes and I put them on the top shelf. If you ever feel that you need a thank you, you can take one off the shelf.
Aw. Basically,
Yeah.
I don't want to say the word that he is, but he is.
Yeah.
He's
Anyways.
a dick, basically.
Yeah.
But that's actually funny that you said that story, because it was a similar story written in a book that I read years ago by Naomi Rangan, and it was like one of those novels where they like a religious girl who's suffering in her marriage, and that's one of the things her husband does,
joke.
but with presents.
Yeah.
So
And whenever
actually
you need
remember
one,
that seats. Yeah, there's
go
a
get one.
closet full of presents. So
Anyways.
it's like one of those things that people say that like one of those stereotype stories. Yeah, religious Jews, that's how they treat their partners. But
And I guess we'll peace out.
yeah, we'll peace out, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining our podcast today.
We hope you enjoyed our couple of thoughts, and join us again for our next episode. If you have any comments or questions about anything that we discussed today, you are welcome to email us at acoupleofthoughtss2008@gmail.com. And we wrote 2008 because that's the year that we got married. So anyways,
Woohoo!
yes, join us again and peace out. The cover song that we have playing in the background is Modeh Ani Kol Boker from Omer Adam, a song that we love to play for our family and just gives us drive and energy in our service to Hashem and our thankfulness for everything that we have in our lives. So we hope you enjoyed that song as well.
על יום המנוחה מודה אני על שפע וברכה למשפחה כל כולי רק בזכותך דע לך שמודה אני